Guess what we're doing today? We're cooking. Yay! All right, so I've already told you, we got the freezer back. I'm in love again. I am so happy, which means that I can do things the way I used to. We've had this conversation before. I don't do breakfast well. We know this. I have my little smoothie station thing set up, and I can't do a smoothie every day. I just can't do it. I like the taste. I still have to use that one protein powder up because it does have a medicinal taste to it, which I have a hard time with, which probably doesn't help, but it is getting used slowly. But with the freezer back, that means that I can make breakfast sandwiches and breakfast burritos again and know where they are. Because in the chest freezer, I never would have been able to find them. So today, we're going to make breakfast sandwiches, breakfast burritos, and we're going to make a little breakfast casserole that actually goes in the freezer uncooked. Well, except for the sausage part, but aside from that. So I'll actually link where I found it down below. She makes some fabulous little breakfast casseroles. She's got a big family. It's Jamaril Stewart. I'm going to say the first name wrong and apparently screw up the last name. But I'll link her page below because she's got some really cool things in there. And she makes me jealous too because she's got a really wicked cool store by where she does a lot of shopping. But let's get this breakfast started because I got to cook everything. So the sausages and the eggs for the sandwiches and the burritos, because they need to get cold so I can put all these together. So let's get this day started. All right, so we're going to cook the sausages over here, and in here I'm actually going to cook just 6 eggs because these are going to be the eggs for the Egg McMuffin, McTammy muffin things. My English muffin sandwiches. Now this is just a natural pork sausage. Nothing fancy, not a lot of spice to it, which makes it perfect for what we're doing with things. Now I bought this. It actually does work out to be a little bit cheaper for things like this as opposed to buying like the little packages of sausage and taking them out of the casing. All right, bust that up a little bit. Now the other eggs in here, we're just going to fry them in a little bit of butter, and then we're going to set them aside to cool. And yes, I know it's a smaller pan for 6 eggs, but English muffins aren't that big. And this way, they should all fit relatively well, I hope. So I'm going to let these cook a little bit, and then I'm actually going to pop the yolk. I know. Sacrilege for some people, but for how I want to make these little breakfast sandwiches, that's actually going to work the easiest way for me. Well, I broke all the eggs, and I put a big lid over it just to kind of steam them a bit so they were partially cooked. Basically, I just made one big, huge egg pancake. So, let's see if I can do this. Ready? All right, it's not pretty, but it worked. Just gonna cook these through. And then I've got a tray I'm gonna put these on so they cool. Sausage is pretty much done. Well, it is actually cooked through. I want a little bit more color on it. Just gonna slide these over there. Now these little bits that are on the bottom, I'm not that worried about it because now we're gonna scramble some eggs. Let me turn that down. I was going to do some onions and peppers in the burritos and things, but it tends to make them a little bit soggy when I warm them up. And yeah, I know I should be eating them, but... So at this point, I'm going to apologize to every professional chef that's out there. This chick right here, she cannot do soft scramble. Can't do it. Sorry. I can't get past the texture anymore. I used to be able to eat soft scramble. I used to be able to eat over easy eggs, all that stuff. But this is not cooked enough for me. And I am so sorry to every professional chef out there. Gordon Ramsay, I know you'll be appalled. Start swearing at me now, dude, because I can't eat this. I have to cook it more. Sorry. I'm going to finish these up, and then I'm going to let all of this cool down, and then we're going to start putting all of our little breakfasts together. Six Tammy McMuffins. Well, this part's done. The scrambled eggs and the sausage are still a little warm. So what I'm gonna do is charge the battery, put these in the freezer, and then we'll put the rest of these breakfasts together. We're gonna get these casseroles done because this, by the time the battery charged up here, the sausage is more than cool enough. So first things first, I need to grate some cheese. Now I'm just using marble cheddar because that's what I had. So as you guys already know, I have a lot of cheese in my refrigerator, and I do tend to use the oldest one first, go by the date. And of course, cheese, the best before date, or well, it's actually the best sale date. You can usually get cheese that's good for like 8, 9, even not almost a year. So I actually have a block of old cheddar in there that I bought in the fall that has a best sell-by date of July. Like seriously, July. So cheese can last a real long time. As long as you don't open it until you're ready for it, you're usually good to go. Okay, let me show you what we're doing with these little casseroles. Alrighty. Oops, I missed a stem. Just a minute, let me get him out of there. So inside here we actually have the sausage, and what I did is I actually pulled some of the kale out of the freezer, and I have 4 of these, and they're on these trays for a reason. So first things first, let's get the cheese in here. So we're gonna put a little layer of cheese on top of the kale. I do have 4 of these, just so you know. Grab the other one. There's the other one. That kale is strong. But we've had this conversation before. My iron, I do not eat enough iron. Fred, as he says, he bleeds rust, which is hilarious, but I need the iron. The kale's in the freezer, so I'm gonna use it. So this is the bowl that I used to scramble the eggs earlier. I actually put it in the fridge. So when I put it in the fridge, of course it stays perfectly fine in there when you're gonna do a whole bunch of eggs like this. Now I have no idea how many eggs this is gonna take. I'm actually gonna start with 12, which also means I'm gonna have to go buy more eggs here soon because I bought 3 dozen eggs on that shopping. You know what I'm gonna do? Let's see if 3 eggs is actually enough. We'll just do one first and see what it looks like. You know, by the time I get that in there, that might be enough. All right, we're gonna do 3 eggs at a time and see if we can get this to work. We officially need 1 more egg in all of them. So 4 eggs each it is. There we go. Now the egg is down to the bottom. Okay. This is where you guys are gonna think this casserole thing is a little bit weird. 1, we're not baking these. There's weirdness number 1. 2, we're topping them with tater tots. Yeah, I know. I've got a whole bunch of potatoes out in the back room, but for this kind of thing, raw potatoes just doesn't work. We've done casseroles with raw potatoes before. Doesn't work. So this is what we're doing to the top of the casserole. So we've got the casseroles and we've got the tater tots. Now, quite seriously, guys, that's what we're doing. We're just gonna line them up, make it look pretty. Ta-da! I know, they look a little weird, but trust me, if the looks and the, oh my gosh, these are good moms that I've heard on videos is anything to go by, I would say we're gonna be fine. So let me put the tops on these and then we'll write the labels and then I'll get them in the freezer. How do you spell casserole? Oh my gosh. Do you have days where the brain just says forget about it? I know it's not spelled right. I just do not have the patience today to look it up. That is the right lid, right? Yep. The point is, I know what it says. That's all that matters. And Fred's used to the fact that some days I just don't pay attention to how I spell, which is terrible. This cut on my thumb is starting to make it really, really, really hard to do anything. Okay. So I can't push these edges down with it. There we go. 1 down. There we go. 4 little breakfast casseroles. Now I know they look a little weird, but from what I understand, they taste really, really good. So we're gonna give it a shot. There's nothing in here that we don't normally eat already anyway. So there we go. Now, like I said, I have kale in these because I figured it would help with my iron. There's lots of room for lots more veggies. Personally, I probably would have loaded these up with some peppers and onions as well, but we know Freddie. He's not a huge pepper and onion fan, so I wasn't about to put things in these that he just isn't gonna like. But I didn't think about it until as I was putting these together. The burritos are mine. I think we're gonna have to cook some peppers and onions, and which means I'm gonna have to wait a little bit more time before I actually put the burritos together, but let's get these guys on their trays in the freezer. They'll stay on these trays until they're frozen, and then they'll get stacked. And then we'll get the burritos made. All right, it is burrito time. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this. This is that garlic scape powder. Now, I actually used quite a bit of it, but there's still quite a bit left. I've decided I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of garlic scape powder in these burritos as we put them together. So let's get this last breakfast done, and then I can safely say I have nice, filling, and healthy breakfasts in that freezer now that I have my freezer back. Okay, so I've got some grated cheese. I've got my burritos. I do have those peppers that I put in with the eggs. These are all cold. Now these are going to be Definitely not vegan, but there's no meat in these. I didn't put any extra sausage, no bacon crumbles, nothing like that. So I'm going to put a little bit of cheese. I know I'm going to have to grate some more cheese, but we'll put some eggs. There we go. A little bit of garlic skate powder. Just a little bit, because this stuff here, tiny bit, goes a long way. And a little bit more cheese to hold it all together. Now, I don't wrap burritos the way you're supposed to. I kind of fold it over, tuck it all in, put the ends in, and then give it a good old roll. There we go. 1 down, 5 to go. There we go, 6 burritos. So I like to make these to the point where they're really family friendly. The reason being is that, yeah, I mean, we don't get a lot of company out here. I mean, because we're, well, the only member of my family actually out here are Fred and I. But when we do have people visiting, like when Mom was here, I mean, these are easy. There's nothing bad in here that no one I know would not be able to eat. There's carbs and there's gluten. Sorry. I eat carbs and I eat gluten. If you're gluten-free, there are some fabulous cauliflower tortillas out there. You can do the exact same thing. It's great. So the other thing is that I have changed up how I wrap these up. You'll notice when I did the sandwiches and of course now the burritos, there's one of the smaller paper towels around them all. So one, it helps with any ice crystals that may form in the freezer. But 2, when I warm them up in the microwave, it helps absorb any moisture that's actually going to show up, and that way I don't end up with a soggy English muffin or a soggy tortilla, because I really can eat soggy bread. Can't be done. But anyway, we have got the freezer back. That means we can start cooking again. We got some breakfast in there. So my plan is to do this at least every couple of weeks. Have one of these in my banana, or depending on what fruit's in season. Been eating a lot of more bananas because it kind of helps with the tummy, which is a good thing. So by the way, if you ever have tummy issues, bananas, just like 1 a day. That's it. It's great. So like I was saying, and then I went on a wicked tangent, and I'm like seriously distracted by this hair. Doesn't matter. How does that happen when I, had my shower this morning? I just don't get it. Anyway, I had a squirrel moment. Sorry, everybody. Back to the point. We've got the freezer. We can cook again. The whole point is to get burritos and sandwiches made at least every couple of weeks. I'll eat these with some salsa. The sandwiches, they'll all just get toasted in our little grill pan. So this little pan, it's definitely seen better days. I've had this thing for a long time, but it gives, it's got the little ridges in it. So the way it works is the burritos, they just get thawed out, tucked in there, toasted on both sides. Fabulous. The sandwiches, they'll get a tiny bit of butter on the outside, and then they toast up so good, and they're so tasty. So, but that's it. We made breakfasts. Like, this chick has got to get back into the swing of having breakfast in the morning. So I might as well do things that are easy, tasty, and every now and then I could have one for lunch if I'm really in a pinch. Here we go. All packed up. It is sunny. It's a beautiful day. I've got all afternoon now to work on the honey-do list. And well, we get ready for work again tomorrow. So everybody, you guys have a great day. Have a great afternoon wherever you are in the world, morning, afternoon, or evening. And we'll see you next time as we continue our simpler life right here on PEI. Bye for now.